Okay, let's say you've already spent some of your day running and you want to put in a little bit more work, or you want to do some restoration or some rehab, prehab. These are some simple of some of the ideas I want to perform and kind of walk through, so you could see how I'm kind of putting it together, right? So immediately, right when I wake up, let's assume that you haven't ran at all for the day. This is, you could call this the warm up or the pre warm up, just something to get the blood moving and to get you flowing. Maybe as you're sipping some tea or sipping some coffee as you wake up. So what I'm going to start to get into is these stretches by Kador Zayani, and they're super low impact, and you know they're beautiful because you need almost nothing to do them. I have this table. You could use a chair. You could use a ladder. You could use a step stool, right? So there's between those three things, the chances that you don't have access to some type of table, a chair, a stool, a step, a medicine, even, you know, you could get your foot up on a some type of dumb, you know, anything stable. It just becomes a tool that you can start to use to strengthen your toes, strengthen your feet. And from here, I'm just rolling those back toes, right? So now my back toes are talking, my hip flexors begins to open up, and I don't know if you just heard that. I'm feeling this decompression in the lower back, right? I feel, a lot of times I'll feel, as I get into these stretches, I'll feel this tremendous relief in my lower back, tension in the spine, really work on my breathing. You know, as you're breathing through it, you're going to release pressure from your lower back as well. I'll feel cracks in my neck. So, you know, it becomes this full body exercise, and this is why I just love this 7 postures so much. And then, you know, roll on the back, and then you're going to start to see I'm going to start to put tremendous amounts of pressure on this front leg, right? So you can start to see how a whole bunch of weight, right? I've got this back foot off the ground, and then I'm going to put basically my whole 150 pounds of weight on this front toe and front foot complex. So you could start to see how strong that the toes and the feet are, right? 150 pounds all on these 5 toes. So you're really just going to get a deeper understanding and awareness, and strength and balance from your toes in a way that you've never felt before. If you've never, right? Because there's not really many people teaching you how to strengthen your toes and your feet like Kador Zayani is. Maybe Ben Patrick, maybe Ido Portal, but and you know, there might be some others that I'm unaware of, but I just don't see it being talked about a lot. Right, so you start to go back and forth between right, the legs, and then same thing on this side, kind of rocking the Achilles, rocking the toes. Right, and I'm barefoot now. Right, it'd be silly for me to wear shoes, and you know, we could really speak to whether or not you have your shoes if you're going to be running miles. Right, maybe it depends on your running technique. If you like a thick sole, if you don't like a thick sole. I just remember one time getting a pair of Vibrams in the mail, and I was at my local gym, and I just ran maybe for 10-15 minutes on a treadmill. And I remember the next day my calves being so sore that I could hardly walk. And what that really said to me was that removing the drop in my heel really allowed my feet to get a more deeper range of motion. So you know, the choice is yours. And then so he's got another posture. This leg comes down, and then it's almost like a deep glute stretch, and you're rocking left, you're rocking right, and then you start to feel this relief in the neck. I'll feel cracks in my neck, and then you're starting to see how, you know, it's gonna relieve tension in the quad's connected, right, to this glute quad connection, right, the whole thing, it's all connected. So just as you work through it, right, you're not getting into these same postures when you're running. That's why they're so powerful. because it's going to help develop strength, flexibility, and mobility in different ranges of motion. That's really going to help you prevent injuries while running and training. Right? It's not just about the running. Yeah, the test is about running, but assuming that you're going to be doing other things other than just, right? Assuming that you're going to pass the test and be playing throughout the season, this is just going to help prevent injuries and help you run faster, jump higher. Right, so same thing, left side, and then some of the other stretches. He's got one where you're kind of sitting on. You kind of sit. You can stack your feet like this. You can stack your feet like this, or just have them splayed out to the side, and then. Right, so you're kind of lining up it's like you could start to feel how your butt kind of sits right in between your heels. So you're going to feel this, as you start to get into these postures, right? So for me, I'm feeling some tension in the ankles, and I'm feeling tension in the quads. So you can start to lean left, right? Release tension. You can slump down. Feel it in the lower back, right? So it's a lot about just moving and feeling and breathing. It almost becomes a self-diagnosis. Where is this tension? Can I move through it? What positions influence to create or relieve it? And just messing around. So, right, this is like low impact stuff, but that's gonna have tremendous influence on your running mechanics, because again, I just keep on repeating myself. It's like this is laying down the foundation, so where you're not going to hurt yourself, prevent injuries, and help you run faster, jump higher. Okay. So after I do that, what would I do? You said that you have access to a treadmill, right? So I would keep the treadmill turned off, and then I would hold the sides of the treadmill, and then I would walk backwards with the treadmill. And what this is going to do is each time you take the step backwards, this is going to strengthen your toes, your feet, and your Achilles in a different way. It's a low impact way to strengthen your body from the toes up. And why this is important is because if you strengthen your feet in this way, again, same exact thing. It's going to help prevent injuries, and it's going to help you develop it's like just laying down the foundation so that you can run a great race. So I would do, me personally, after I do some of those nice Cador Ziani stretches, I would do 5 to 10 minutes on a treadmill in reverse, and then I would do, what am I doing? Then I would get out an RMT rope, and I'm going to assume that you don't have an RMT rope. So let's say you don't have a dog. Then you might have an extension cord, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use as a makeshift RMT rope. And as you swing this, right, what people don't get is they say like, oh, I don't get it. You just swing the rope around and this is supposed to help me run faster? And the answer is yes, because your arms play a huge part in generating power. So as you begin to swing the rope in rhythmic fashion, you're getting a better understanding of where your body is in time and space, and why this is important is because the more you understand where your body is, the better you can use it. So the faster you can run, the more explosive you can become, the more balanced and strong each step you take can be. So not only is it going to start to, right, you can start to learn different patterns that improve your running technique, that improve your balance, right? You can get up into this, right? You can get up into this one leg balance, getting up getting up on the toe, getting up on the heel, right? So you're just getting into these multiple ranges of motion, and at the same time, right, low impact. I'm in my living room, and yet I'm working on my running technique and right, moving meditation, breathing. Right now, you're gonna start to work this, right, this core strength. So there's two patterns in particular. The first one you want to master is this underhand swing, right? Because the underhand swing leads to the double behind the back, I think it's called the double underhand roll, which leads to the alternating underhand sneak. All these silly words just mean one pattern leads to another pattern, leads to another pattern, and once you learn this pattern, alternating underhand sneak, it's going to make it so your running technique is flawless. And it all it takes is a few minutes a day, right? 2 minutes. Like anyone can do the underhand swing, right? Boom, easy underhand swing. It's the opposite direction of a jump rope, right? Traditional jump rope goes from behind and forward. Underhand swing goes in the opposite direction, right? So your underhand swing right, underhand swing left, breathing, right? And then you could start to do a hand transfer. You could start to go high. You could start to go low, right? Get into this different squat, right? Squat mobility as you're swinging this and you're breathing. Always breathing, relaxed, right? And then you can start to get up in a one leg balance, right? One leg on your toe, then on your heel. You could go over behind the back, and then you could do the other leg. You could do lunge, right? Get into full lunge. You could do split stance, right? You could stand on, right? You could stand on different balance tools, right? So the more that you increase your balance and your ability to just swing this rope around, it's just gonna make your running that much easier because it's moving meditation in a low impact way. So if you're developing effortless strength, right? Muhammad Ali, he trained all day, 7 days a week. So, right, this is something that's just gonna make your mile time tremendously easier, and it's low effort. So you could bring an RMT rope with you everywhere you go, walking your dog, walking around the block, bring it to work, a minute before school, after school, before work, after work, whatever. Okay, so this is step 1. Step 2 is bringing your arm around your back and then swing in so you grab your wrist, and then you're still swinging with the same hand, and then you want to slowly start to grab both ends of the rope with each hand, and then from here it's a bit tough with the extension cord. Let's try it again. Right, so you're behind the back, grab the elbow, then grab the wrist, and then both ends of the rope with the hands, and then double behind the back. From there, this is what you want to drill over and over, right? Because if you can drill this over and over and over, this is gonna help with your running technique. And then from here, we're gonna transition to the alternating underhand sneak. But just for the sake of the video, I want you to learn this one first, because this is gonna make the transition to the alternating underhand sneak much easier, right? This lays down the groundwork. So it's right here, 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 here. But it all starts with the underhand swing. So, right, if you're just getting familiar with the RMT rope or an extension cord or a dog leash or a scarf or 2 shoelaces tied together, just swinging this in rhythmic fashion is the first step to just having an easier mile run, improving effortlessly your ability to crush the run. Okay, So that would be, right, so we've woken up, hydrating, you're doing your Kedor Zayani, 7 postures. We're doing this, you've done your rope flow, and then I would do, then you did some of the ROKP, reversing out of knee pain on the treadmill, which is strengthening the whole body. And then what I would do, torture twist, right, legs up, crunch here, and then we're gonna try and target the obliques, right? So even starting with 30 seconds aside, you'll go as long as you can, breathing. Really try to start, elevate the legs, raise the legs up. You can mess around with positions with your hands. You could go both on the left side, you can go in the air. If this is too difficult, just drop the legs down a little bit. If it's too easy, you lift them up. If this is, you could maybe even, do less or do more. If the legs up is still too easy, you start to incorporate a weight in the hand, or a gallon of milk, or 2 gallons of milk. There's tools around your house, even some books, so whatever. And then when you're ready, you switch. Right, so 30 seconds aside, or what have you. And then from there, then me personally, if I'm training for this model run, a lot of places that people don't realize are super important for running is the lower back. So I would get into one of these. I'd go here, and then I'd go up, and then I'd hold it for as long as I could. And then you could start to mess around with different positions. You could go over the head, right, hands overhead. You could go rotating to the left and to the right. You could go down, then up, look left, down, and up, look right, left. You could go here, and then you could start to arch the back, or you could pull the head up. So kind of playing around with hand positioning and looking left and to the right, and putting arms out to the side or overhead are ways you can make this exercise more or less difficult. You can start to squeeze your hands very strong, so that you could start to almost create tension for the hands that goes all the way back to your lower back. So imagine just crushing something in your hands and really squeezing powerfully all the way down to your lower back, but while also trying to breathe and stay relaxed. It's actually quite difficult. And then from there, then you could start to, there's other things. You could start to create different types of circuits, right? So if you call that Kedor Zayani stretching one exercise, a pre-exercise, then reversing out of knee pain, then rope flow, then core, then lower back. You could do some tibialis raises. Right, tibialis raises are another low impact way to help develop and strengthen your foot and ankle complex. So just coming over here, right, this is another exercise by Ben Patrick, right? So just doing this till failure, or holding this is going to strengthen the front of your calves. This will prevent shin splints. This is going to help you jump higher, run faster. So what I'm going to do is hold an isometric, hold my toes up as long as I can, and then once I can't hold them up for any longer, I'm going to try and do gas pedals gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal. Right, so gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, and then you're starting to feel a nice burn. And then I'll even try to do the same thing, hold it for longer. Then gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal. Hold for as long as I can, and then do that as many times as I can until you get bored or you get too tired when you can't even do another one. And then from there, you know, it's developing this effortlessness, but through developing strength. So it's like all these things are low impact ways where you're going to strengthen your body, but also make yourself faster and stronger. So another thing that you could start to do, if you have 2 water bottles, these are, so what you could do is basically wrap some tape around the top of 2, actually I found 2 Dr. Pepper bottles halfway filled with water, or 2 Coca-Cola bottles can work. These are Indian clubs, right? And what Indian clubs are going to start to do is the same, very similar to the RMT rope. It's just an effortless way to develop strength, flexibility, and mobility, and start to develop understanding of where your body is. So even if I'm here, right, you could start to feel, right, because your body's got to stabilize. So what you want to do is search heroic sport, top 10 Indian club. You could search top 10 Indian club movements. These are what you call Indian clubs, Palavandals, right? Search Indian club workouts. And these are low impact things, low impact tools that are just going to help you be more dynamic on the soccer field, right? Because as you start to swing them, you get a better understanding of where your body is. And they don't look like much, but man, you know, you smash your knee on this thing, which I have before, I'll tell you it's not pretty. So I think these things are 5 pounds each, but man, they'll do some damage if you don't use them right. Right, so there's just so many different patterns that you could do that it's kind of like infinite. They're really beautiful training tools that I'm just getting into. Right, so one way of okay, so before I knew all this stuff, I would think the only way to get faster is like by running more. But what I've been trying to demonstrate is that through different tools and exercises, your body and your breath, a table, a piece of rope, and a water bottle, you can create like some mini circuits. And with these mini circuits, they're going to help you run faster, jump higher, and protect your body from injury, and make it so you're harder to push over on the soccer field. So if the only thing you did was just change your breathing, instead of going to, if you change it to this is something that most soccer players do not know. I I mean, I coached a whole, 30 plus soccer players in the fall of 2022, and no one knew this, right? No one's taught me this for the past 27 years. So this is why I tell people this in almost every single video I make. Okay, so one more time to review. Dr. Vranich, How to Breathe. Kador Zayani, 7 Postures. David Weck, Rope Flow. Happy Body, Jersey Gregorick. Ben Patrick, ROKP. And then Heroic Sport, Indian Clubs. That basically sums up every single thing I've done. Oh, let's do one more thing. Okay, so if you want to develop more power, more explosiveness as a finisher, let's say I've got more energy, but I don't know what to do, just going from right here, right? Jumping is really going to help you run faster, right? Anything that makes you run faster will make you jump higher, and vice versa. So, right, you can give yourself a few seconds of rest, and then start to put stuff in your hands. So now, a couple weights, you have whatever, you've got, jugs of milk, or, maybe some dumbbells around the house. Right, nice and easy. And beginners, right, you could do 20 jumps twice a week. Advanced jumpers can do 40 jumps twice a week. So hopefully some of these ideas help. Reach out with any questions. All right, thanks.